Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, your boy Keith One Time Thurman, after being in witness protection for like half the year, like he does every year, he came to Showtime this Saturday, and he was out in public, and he was talking about fighting Errol Spence. They did a whole cool interview with Showtime, and there was a series of interviews that came out across YouTube and quotes that came out, obviously, on all the boxing websites. And a couple of them caught my attention, and we're going to get to one of them later. I have another video. I'll keep them coming up later that you guys should look out for. But for this one right here, unboxing scene, there was one reported where basically Keith Thurman is pretty much like saying that Terence Crawford has to be a relevant welterweight before he fights him. And before I get into his quotes, let me just say that, like, bruh, like I remember, like, if you would rewind the clock 3 years ago, if we go back to 2014 and you asked me, Brennan, what's your opinion on Keith Thurman? I would have told you I think Keith Thurman is tremendous. I think he's a A-level. I think he has A-level fighter potential. I think he's great for boxing, and I think that he's not afraid of anybody. But now, I don't know, man. This guy. He's lost some of his edge. I don't know if it's the fact that he's just stepped up in opposition. I don't know if it's now that he's making good money. I don't know if it's that he's accomplished stuff and maybe he's lost some of that drive. But it seems like anytime he's supposed to fight anybody and they just came up from another weight class, he's always got this thing where he's always talking about, like, oh, well, he was this at that weight and whatnot. Like, he does it with Sean Porter. He's like, oh, Sean Porter's really a 140-pounder. He did it with Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia is really a 140-pounder. And in my opinion, the Sean Porter beat him. And, initially I thought Danny Garcia beat him. But I didn't think that one was more of a stretch anyway. But still, those 140-pounders gave him some problems here and there. So, that being said, man, Terence Crawford hasn't even fought at 147 yet. As a lot of us anticipate, he should be making up that much anticipated move to welterweight in 2018. I just made a video recently on a report that said that Bob Arum is talking about making a Jeff Horn WBO title fight with Terence Crawford. Should Jeff Horn fulfill his mandatory obligations this upcoming, I think it's this month or next month. He's fighting Gary Corcoran, who's number 9 in the WBO ranking. So once he does that, then that sets up the fight for Terence Crawford and Jeff Horn. But Keith's pretty much saying that he has to be a relevant welterweight before they fight. So here's what he said verbatim. He said, I quote, he needs to make himself relevant in this division. He's a 140-pound undisputed champion. He can come up to this weight and fight pretty much anybody in the top 10. He deserves that for the most part, and I understand that. But we are so flooded with talent. He is going to have to make himself relevant at 147 before he gets his hands on us. For the most part, he's not simply just going to be able to say some names to get fights that he wants. He's going to have to walk into the division, put a hurt on some dudes, and make himself relevant. That's how I truly feel. And then he said some more stuff, but you guys can go on Boxing to read that. Honestly, man, I'm gonna say this, all right, and I'm gonna tell you guys, and I know I talk about the small elite classes a lot because I like the small elite classes. There isn't all this BS in the small elite classes. It's like, bro, I was a top dog at 112 pounds. If I come up to 115, I'm coming up there to beat your ass. That's what Roman Gonzalez did. Roman Gonzalez said, look, I'm at 112, Quadras, you ain't number 1. I'm coming up there and I'm gonna whoop your ass. Now, same thing with it should be the same thing with this. It should be the exact same thing with this. If Terence Crawford came out tomorrow and he said, hey, Keith, you're the top dog at 147. I was the top dog at 140. I'm coming up there and I'm whooping your ass with no tune-ups. If he said that, Keith Thurman should be trying to sign on the dotted line to fight him. On the dotted damn line to fight him. There shouldn't have to be all this, well, he has to make himself relevant, and, he has to fight this guy, and he has to fight that guy, and he has to fight this guy, and he has to fight that. No. His credentials speak for themselves. They speak for themselves, okay? And I'm not even saying he has the best resume, but what he's been able to do in boxing, undisputed champion, top 5 pound for pound. And from a skill standpoint, the ability to switch hit, the ability to, show that you have power, show that you have good defense, stay in the pocket. Terence Crawford can fight his ass off, And maybe he hasn't been tested and fought the level of opposition Thurman has had to fight so far. I will give him that. But the fact of the matter is, most people with half a brain who know anything about boxing, okay, even if you don't think he has the best resume in the world, you have to at least admit that this guy is no worse than top 5 pound for pound. And that alone, with those credentials, with him being the undisputed 140-pound champion, with him being a big 140-pounder, a guy who could easily go to 147, be strong at the weight immediately, okay? Terence Bud Crawford, and I'm saying this to say, I'm saying that to say this. I'm saying that if he called Thurman and said, "Look, I want to fight you first fight," Thurman should say, "That's it. Make the fight happen." There shouldn't be all this political BS. But that's what you get with Keith Thurman. You get a guy who's very well spoken, very well articulated, and quite honestly, he's very well, I don't want to say protected, but he's in very good hands. PBC takes very good care of him, if you know what I mean. You know, they look out for him. You know, they looked out for him in the Sean Porter fight. That's what it is, man. You know, he's a marketable fighter. He'll always get the benefit of the doubt from PBC. But what I'm saying is, Terence Crawford, when it comes into that division, is going to have a target on his back because of what he did at 140 and who he is in boxing. And if you're Keith Thurman, why would you say this? Why would you not invite him and say, "Look, let's fight right now. Let's fight. You know, let me get a tune-up. Let me get reacquainted with, you know, my timing and getting my stuff down. But once I get my tune-up fight, let's go for the gusto. Let's have a fight." You know. So I don't get it, man. You know, I don't get this guy's mentality anymore. You know, when he was a challenger, I loved Keith Thurman. I thought he was great for boxing, but he's afraid of Errol Spence. He don't want Errol Spence, and it seems that, you know, he's afraid of Terence Crawford, and that's what it is, man. And I think a lot of us know that, you know, once Terence Crawford gets into this weight class and he gets accustomed, you know, if he fights to the level of his talent, you know, he's gonna very quickly establish himself as one of the top fighters in the division. And I think we're gonna be on a collision course for Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence. I feel like that's gonna be like the Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns fight of our generation, in my opinion. But you guys can let me know what you think. Keith Thurman is pretty much saying that Crawford has to become a relevant welterweight before they even think about fighting him. And what I'm saying is, like, look, based on what he did at 140, based on his credentials in boxing, based on how much he's been calling everybody out and how he's wanting to make the best fights available, there shouldn't be any questions. There should be no quotes like this on Boxing Scene from Keith Thurman. So I don't get it. I feel like it's a premeditated statement to start ducking him, in my opinion. But you guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. Take the time to subscribe, and you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just giving dang it. Until next time, take care, guys. Stop ducking Keith Thurman. Don't duck him, fun.